got to get to Fantasy Flames, lame shocker specials, the wide receiver position. And let's start off with the Fantasy Flames. Under 60% started in Yahoo leagues. So it could be a wide receiver, or I'll even allow a tight end. And you're going to go with a plus-size target, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go, actually, this is gross. I'm going to go with Kyle Pitts. It's nasty, but he's well under the criteria here. And we got to remember, at one point in time, people thought Kyle Pitts was going to be the greatest tight end ever. But he's going against this Washington defense. And I'm low on the Commanders this year. And right now, they're in the bottom third of the NFL against the pass. And they're in the bottom third of the league when it comes to containing fantasy tight ends. Week 2, I'm looking at it right now. Tucker Kraft was tight end number 1. And then last week, Brock Bowers, we didn't even know if Brock Bowers was going to play. He finished just outside the top 12. So I think Kyle Pitts, man, might be a top 10 tight end. And they're going to split him out, obviously, in the slot here. As long as Michael Penix could bounce back from that 58.6% completion percentage, which only Trevor Lawrence and Cam Ward had a worse completion percentage so far, I think that Kyle Pitts is going to have a decent little weekend, and I think he gets in the end zone as well against the Commanders. So I'll roll with him.
Man, that's definitely another Team Waivos play there. It always is, really, with Kyle Pitts.
I know.
But he's actually played, to his credit, fairly well. It's just Penix has been awful. He's outside the top 35 right now, and adjusted completion percentage, according to Pro Football Focus. I'm going to go with the guy that you and I both believe in, and here's the tie-in to sports betting for you listeners out there. Matthew Golden, Lumman Fantasy, bet the over on his player prop at 40.5 at BetMGM as well. Taking on who? Oh, the craptastic Dallas Cowboys. Only 25% started is Golden right now in Yahoo leagues. And why I'm big on him, here's the snap share the first 3 weeks of the NFL season. 48.9%, 60.6%, 70.3%. Tick, 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 up in each game, coming off a season high, 4 targets, 4 catches for 52 yards last week. You might say, oh, that's mundane, rather subpar, but that was against the Cleveland Browns. We know how good that defense has been. He's got a 22.8 ADOT, which is outstanding, and Dallas' number 31 drawback EPA defense. He's got the element coverage, who's given the 4th most yards to his assignments of any DB in the National Football League. Dallas has allowed the 6th most yards as well, and 6th most fantasy points to the position. So Matthew Golden, a primo situation for him, like 70 yards and a touchdown. The breakout is about to come, and I know Horvat is on board with me with that point of view. Flip side of the coin, Fantasy Lame, over 50% started right now in Yahoo leagues. Oh, man, you're going with a big name because you don't trust the rookie quarterback?
So Malik Nabers all of a sudden pops up on the injury report. We got a rookie quarterback making his first start, and it comes against the Chargers. And I think Harbaugh is going to want to make life a living hell for Jackson Dart in his first start. See what I did there? I just rhymed. Malik Nabers is fully healthy, and I do think that eventually they're going to get on the same page and everything's going to be just fine, and he's going to be a top 10 fantasy wide receiver. But with the injury, with this matchup, and with Dart making his first start, I think he could be a bust this week. It's scary because he's 97% started, and he's one of the better receivers in the league. He even came out and he said, just get the ball to number 1, and you got no problems. I don't know if that happens this week, man. I think he's going to see some bracket coverage, too. So I'm going to fade Malik Nabers. I'm going to stay away from him. If I had him, I'd be playing him, though. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that's bold cotton. I love it. Calvin Ridley, riddle me this, riddle me that. I think he's going to go splat, just like Kyler Murray did on that sack. 3rd and long right now for Arizona. Remarkably, is over 50% started still in Yahoo leagues, taking on the Houston Texans. And I don't trust Ridley at all because the Texans' pass EPA defense at a number 11 in the NFL, which is technically in the country. They've allowed, though, the 14 most fantasy points out. The mano-a-mano matchup is a major upside. Is you're going to see a lot of Lassiter in coverage. He's given a 137.3 passer rating, 84.6% catch rate. But Calvin Ridley, only wide receiver 69, not so nice so far on the season. 21 targets, 8 catches, 111 yards, no touchdowns. He's only got 1 game of 30+. As a matter of fact, that offense under Callahan has issues. Nick Hassos very passionately said yesterday, it's broken. discombobulated, disarray, just falling apart right now. I can't trust Cam Ward to get the ball to Ridley despite a very good on-paper matchup against the DB. I think Calvin Ridley is going to be fantasy lane material. How about a shocker special? Under 15% started in Yahoo League's wide receiver tight end. Who do you think could ball out that might be sitting on your bench?
All right, here's another guy that I am starting this week. I'm going with Romeo Doubs against the Dallas Cowboys. And right now, Romeo Doubs leads the team in routes run, air yards per target, which is kind of a surprise. He is as close to wide receiver number one as you get in this offense. Now, I do really like Matthew Golden, but both of these guys could go off against this Cowboys secondary. I like the team total over for Green Bay. I think they score at least 28 points minimum. So I'm going to go with Romeo Doubs, man. Again, he does still lead all Green Bay receivers in routes run and air yards per target. So against this Dallas secondary, I think he goes off.
Christian Kirk, man, I like him quite a bit. He's got a game under his belt coming off that soft tissue issue, the hamstring, taking on the Tennessee Titans, number 22 in drop-back EPE defense. They've allowed the fourth most fantasy points opposing wide receivers. Roger McCreary, the primary slot DB, is a guy he's going to see in coverage. He's given up the 24th most yards of any defensive back in the NFL through 3 weeks. Kirk had 8 targets last week. And remember, folks, he was brought in to help alleviate a lot of the pressure, the heat that C.J. Stroud has been under. This offensive line has been a turnstile yet again for the Texans, number 27 in run blocking and pass blocking efficiency so far in the young year. I like Kirk a lot this week. I think he's going to be wide receiver 3, and I also bet on the over 3.5 receptions. Grab this afternoon at BetMGM at plus 100.